Everyone, I hope that your weekend is going well. I just wanted to check in with you now that I have read through most of the timeline assignments for Unit 2. Sorry it's taken me a couple of days to get to those. To lead with, though, overall they look really good. I think our timeline on Tiki-Taki is shaping up quite nicely. You're all choosing excellent topics that allow us to think about not only connections, but also about historical significance. And that's something I want to mention in a little more detail here in a second. But first, let me just say that, or give a reminder, I should say, that you need to submit your timeline work to Blackboard as well as to Tiki-Taki. If you have any questions about how to do that, please let me know. I think I have an FAQ that I made for my New Mexico history class, but it's the same for our classes. So I'll try to dig that up and add it to the timeline assignment instructions, and I'll also put it here underneath this, or as part, I should say, of this announcement. Also, if I gave you some feedback that you should embed your link to your outside source in Tiki-Taki, or that you need to make sure to copy the URL for the image rather than for the website that the image comes from, I'm going to make a separate video that will be below this one that you should watch in order to get some more information about how to do that. So I'll give you the instructions on how to do both of those things, just to help out and give a refresher. I think those were the technical things that I wanted to comment on. The other thing with this assignment is that always on Unit 2, I allow you to revise and resubmit your work in order to earn up to full credit. So again, that's something that you have the option of doing if you would like to do that. If you do decide to revise and resubmit, you only need to make your changes on Tiki-Taki. You don't need to submit a new document to Blackboard. You do, however, need to email me to let me know that you've made some changes so that I can go in and update your score. And I actually have already received a couple of those emails, so good start for those of you that have already seen my feedback. If you have questions about the feedback that I left you or what it is that I'm asking for revisions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to help with that. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold here. The last thing I want to say on this video is to just mention something about historical significance. And I know that I've given a couple of helpers, or help videos, I guess I should say, on that in the timeline assignment tab in the course menu in Blackboard. So you should look those over if you haven't got a chance to do that. But when I ask you to think about the historical significance of your topic, what I'm asking you is to explain the so what. I had an editor who said you always have to explain so what, who cares about your topic. That may be a little blunt, I always think it is, but that's, again, it's important to help your readers understand why this topic matters, why it's something important to the history of Latin America or to the history of the specific nation that you're writing about. So one of the comments that I made on a few of your timeline ID steps for Unit 2 is that you mentioned a few significant things about your topic, but you didn't explain why those things were significant. And that's the missing piece. That's the important part with historical significance, is for you to make an evaluation, to draw a conclusion and say, this is important because. And again, you don't necessarily have to put it in so many words. If you look at Ethan's post on the timeline, his does a good job of talking about the significance of the Virgin of Guadalupe as a symbol of national identity in Mexico without coming right out and saying, this is significant because. Because along the way, when he mentions significant things about La Virgen, he also talks about its importance. On the other side of that, if you look at Julie's post for this week, hers does a good job of having that last paragraph be focused on historical significance. If I'm remembering correctly, she didn't come right out and say this is significant because, but she dedicated a whole paragraph to historical significance. So those are two really good ways to approach this. There were several of you who also did a very good job with historical significance. Those were just the two that I remembered this afternoon as I'm coming back to this. So Give those a look, and if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, if you need help with the embedding the link or the image, please watch the video below. If not, I hope you're having a great weekend, and I look forward to wrapping up our work on Unit 2.